Today, I want to talk briefly about the Trump account election, the new tax provision that was released as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Today, I'm going to go through a draft instructions released in December of 2025. So the form is called Form 4547. And if you look at this form here, you have two main parts. And you're going to use this form to make two separate elections. Election number one is to elect to open a Trump account. And the second election is to elect to receive a $1,000 contribution from Department of the Treasury, and it's called the Pilot Program Contribution Election. So just to run through this form here, the first part is the parent or guardian or other authorized individual information. And so this is the parent's information. Now, if you have a child and you are not married, then you need to figure out who this child will become a qualifying dependent of this parent or guardian. Now, one interesting part in the instruction, it says that a person does not have to claim this dependent as a dependent in their tax return as long as they are qualifying dependent by the definitions of the tax code. The part two is the child's information. Okay, so you enter the child's information here. And part three, this is a unique one. But part two, you enter child information to open a Trump account. Part three is the part you check this box if you want to elect your child to receive a $1,000 pilot program contribution directly to their Trump account. Now this part here is only eligible to the children who are born in between December 31st of 2024 through the end of 2028, December 31st of 2028. And the child must have a social security number, the child must be a U.S. citizen, and the child must not have received any pilot program contribution election in the past. So you can only do this once in their lifetime. All right? And the rest of the page is the signature by the authorized individual or the parent or the guardian. Okay, so let's go through some instructions on this form. So first, an authorized individual. Authorized individual is the person that's going to make the election. Okay, so and you're going to make election only once for your child to open the Trump account and only once to receive the contribution. And the 4547 is going to be used to open the initial Trump account. After the election is made, the Treasury Department agent will send information to the authorized individual who made the election to activate the account. Now this is on the draft form, but as of today, it says the Treasury Department will send this information to activate the initial Trump account starting May of 2026. Okay, let's talk about the taxation of the contributions to this Trump account. So the contributions to the Trump account during the growth period, so now growth period is any time from the day that you opened the Trump account until your child becomes 18 years of age. So the contributions are not includable to income by the account beneficiary when made. So that means the beneficiary is your child. So if you contribute $1,000 to your child's Trump account, your child will be able to reduce their taxable income by the $1,000. The important part here is that the contribution is not excluded from the parent's tax return. It's going to be reducing the child's taxable income. The annual contribution limit is $5,000 per year. Now, there is a Section 128 employer contribution. If your child is working, then his or her employer can have an employer contribution according to the Section 128 provisions. And that amount is $2,500 per year maximum. So the employers can put in $2,500 and the child can put in $5,000 maximum to their Trump account. Okay. Let's talk about pilot program contribution election in more detail. First, an authorized individual, in this case a parent guardian, will make an election to ask for a $1,000 pilot program contribution to be made to your child's Trump account. Your child must have been born after December 31st, 2024 and before January 1st of 2029. So 2025 through 2028. And child must have not had a prior pilot program contribution made for them. So this $1,000 contribution is only one time contribution to your child's account. Your child must be a U.S. citizen and must have a valid Social Security number. Okay, when are you going to get this money? The Treasury Department said they're going to make a pilot program contribution as soon as practicable after the election is made and the Treasury Department can confirm that the initial Trump account has been opened. So after you send in your 4547, the Treasury Department will need to first process, verify the information. So that takes time. And when that's done, then they will get to start sending out the money. However, no pilot program contribution will be deposited to the Trump account of a child earlier than July 4th, 2026. And also, if you are making an election to open your child's Trump account, and you're also making the election to receive the pilot program contribution at the same time, then the initial Trump account, $1,000, will be deposited directly into your child's Trump account. Within your Trump account, you're going to have some eligible investment options, such as mutual fund, ETFs, and these are primarily indexed to track U.S. companies' performance. Okay, let's talk about distributions. So when your child turns 18, obviously, then he or she can start taking out money from the Trump account to pay for housing or any of those expenses. Now, as far as the distributions, the concept is very similar to a traditional IRA account. And so what that means is any early distributions that your child does before the age of 18 can be subject to early withdrawal penalty of 10%. Now, there are some exceptions to this. If your child receives early distribution to cover higher education expenses or first-time home purchases, then they can take this money out early without paying penalty. They just have to pay tax on this. Where to file the Form 4547? The 4547 can be filed together along with the parent's or the guardian's tax return. And so that tax returns can be filed electronically or on paper. 4547 actually can be filed anytime, and it doesn't have to be filed with the tax return. So you can file a separate 4547 filing directly at trumpaccounts.gov electronically, or you can mail in the 4547 by paper. So if you forgot, or your CPA or your tax professional forgot to include the 4547 in your tax return, that's okay. That's not the end of the world, because you can still send in separate 4547 to make the election and receive the $1,000 pilot program contribution for a child that was born in between 25 or up to 2028. So with respect to the Trump account, I just want to share some of my personal thought here and to go through the pros and cons of this Trump account. The most interesting part that I read here in the instructions released from IRS is that in the 4547 contributions to the Trump account is reducing the taxable income of the beneficiary. And so in the Trump account, the beneficiary of the Trump account obviously is your child. So if your child has no taxable income, and if you contribute $5,000 to your child's Trump account, there is no taxable income to begin with to offset and reduce, to defer the $5,000 of Trump account contribution. And so in that scenario, I don't think this is a good idea. However, there is an upside to this Trump account provision is unlike many other retirement plans such as traditional IRA, even Roth IRA and 401k plans, which you have access to those accounts after you retire. But for Trump accounts, this gets unlocked when you turn 18 years of age, which is a lot better. So to me, I think that's a benefit. 529 plan is a comparable option that you can consider. But if your child is making a considerable amount of money above the standard deduction, then I would like to see $5,000 being deducted on your child's tax return. But one of the main part that I want to emphasize is that the deduction for contributing into the Trump account is happening at your child's tax return, not yours. And so if your child has no income tax to report, then there's not going to be any benefit to deferring this $5,000 contribution to their Trump account. Well, the only benefit is that you're just helping them save up until they turn 18 years of age. The last part that I want to just reiterate is the management and access to the Trump account by the users and the beneficiaries. So the way Trump account will be handled and managed will be very similar to Social Security benefits accounts. And so the instructions over here, it said that when you file the 4547, IRS will send you a letter to activate your Trump account at the trumpaccounts.gov. And so that's where your money will sit. That's where your money will be invested. And you're going to have to log in there to access your Trump account funds. Trump accounts will not be accessible or will not be managed by third-party financial institutions such as Fidelity, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, or you name it, whoever's out there. But it is going to be managed by the Department of the Treasury directly from trumpaccounts.gov access through the online. I think everyone should definitely take advantage of the free money, $1,000, if you have a child that was born in 2025 and expect to be born during the years of 25 through 28. Now, should you contribute $5,000 to the Trump account? That question, I think, should be looked through either with me or my team here or with your tax professional, and to assess what is the net benefit of taking advantage of the contributing into your child's Trump account and make a sound decision to make the best return on your investment. Tax is part of it, obviously, but the return on the investment, net return on the investment, is more important, in my opinion. So I hope this information was helpful. I wish you all a blessed week. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.